Hello everybody, my name is Mark. Welcome to another one of my investing videos, and in this video I'm going to talk about different ways that you can manage your option position. And these are the things that I'm going to do depending upon what Twitter does in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow is game time, and if we look at Twitter tomorrow, earnings, and let's go ahead and click on the earnings, and today is October the 24th. And the next earnings announcement, wow, it's interesting. It's not even showing the date, but I can tell you that the earnings is tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. And just for double verification, let me go ahead and pull up an earnings calendar here like this. And Yahoo has a very good earnings calendar. So let's go ahead and put in Twitter symbol TWTR, and there it is right there, October 25th, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm on the West Coast, so that would be 5 in the morning, which means that when the earnings comes out, it will come out in pre-market hours. So planning to wake up early, maybe around 7 o'clock, and see what I can do with Twitter and see what happens. Okay, now let's go back to my TD Ameritrade and let me do a quick recap on what I have been doing with Twitter. And if you've been watching my videos, you probably have this memorized now. So let me go ahead and put in the history record here. And here we go. On September the 10th, I bought one Lone Ranger call option, a $30 call right here. It expires in January of 2020. So at the time it was 16 months. And now it is October the 24th, 2018, so I still got another 15 months to go, and I spent $777.71. And then week after week, I've been selling call option after call option and making money every week. $50 I made here, $48, $28, $34, $40, and I've always been buying them back for dirt cheap, buying it back for $3. This one I just let expire. This one I bought back for $1, $1, $1. And if you add up all the money that I made, 50, 98, 126, 160, 200, 225, so about $370, $380 that I'm going to make, minus the 72. So I'm going to make about $300 between now and the next 2 days when this one expires. This last one I sold here, this one expires on where is it at? Here you go, October the 26th. That's Friday, the day after tomorrow. And so Twitter is going to do one of three things. Let me go back to my account and let me go back to Twitter here. Okay, so tomorrow earnings comes out, Twitter's going to do one of three things. Either they're going to have a good earnings and it's going to go up like gangbusters, and maybe it'll go up 20%, maybe it'll go up to $35 a share, or they'll have a bad earnings and Twitter will take a crater and they'll go all the way down to $20. That'd be my worst case scenario, is if Twitter took a crater and went down to 20. But it's still something that I can deal with because I plan to open up a call option butterfly, which I'll explain here in a minute. And then finally Twitter could just barely move. Maybe it'll go up to 28 or 29 or go down to 27 or something. And if that happens, then I just simply sell another weekly call. So let's go ahead and go to the first scenario. Let's say Twitter goes up a lot. Well, that's if Twitter goes all the way up to 34 or 35, then what I would do is buy to close my weekly call. And let me bring that up here. So here's my short call here. This is a $30 call and it expires on Friday, and it's still worth $102, but if you remember, I sold to open it and got $165. And this one I rolled up, so if Twitter did go up that much, actually take that back, if Twitter went up, I would probably, like, let's say Twitter went up to $34 or $35, then that means this call is going to be worth $400 or $500. So I would buy to close this for $400 and then sell to open another call another 9 days out. I'm a big believer in selling weekly calls because that's where the money is. And let me go ahead and get myself sidetracked here and show you why I prefer to sell weekly calls. Now, if you look at these calls right here, these are the January 2020, 449 days. That's like 15 months to go. I could buy this $30 call right there. The bid is 560, the ask is 600. So let's say I get it for 580. Now, let's say I buy a weekly call. Okay, expires in 8 days. Okay, if I were to buy a weekly call and I were to buy a $30 call, it's the same call, and I were to buy a $30 call, let me go to out of the money here. So here's the $30 call, the bid is 130, the ask is 153. So let's say I get it for 140. Just so happens the closing price was 140. And so for $140, I own a contract to sell Twitter at $30 a share for the next 8 days. Okay, so 8 times 4, that's 32 days, so that's about a month. Okay, so 140, 280, $560 in a month. We're talking a month. I just spent $560 if I were to continue every week to buy a call, right? I'd actually be buying 4 calls, so I could do that, right? And you may be saying to yourself, wow, man, you mean to tell me I can get a $30 call for $140? That's a good deal, isn't it? Nope, and I'm going to show you why. Because if I were to buy this call, this $30 call, which is good for 449 days for the next 15 months, I'm spending $580. Okay, so if I buy these calls every week and I'm spending $140 a week, I spend $560. So why in the heck am I going to spend that much money in a month, $560, just to get the leverage to buy Twitter at $30 a share, when I can spend an extra $20 and spend $580 and get a $30 call, and I'm good for 449 days. Okay, so buying weekly calls is a ripoff, and of course, for the same reason, I wouldn't want to sell leap calls. I wouldn't want to sell long term. So if you're going to buy and sell options, then my opinion tells me that you want to buy for the long term and you want to sell the weeklies, because that's where the money is. The time imbalance, that's how I make my money, is off of time. And you saw my returns here. I've been doing videos after videos showing you over and over that I'm selling a weekly call and I'm selling a weekly call, and I've already made $300, so I'm closing in on getting it half paid for, and I still got another 15 months to go on an option that originally had 16 months. So that's the way I like to do it. So again, back to if Twitter took a crater. Okay, now if Twitter did go to $20, then this call would go to 0. Okay, my long call, in order to know how much I lose on my long call, I got to look at the delta. So let's look at the delta and let's see how much money I'm going to lose in my long call. So let's go ahead, bring up the $30 call, bring up the option Greek of a delta like this, put in the view chain, click on January the 20th, and it looks like the delta is 57.9, so $58 I will lose every dollar it goes down. So if Twitter goes down $7, let's say, down to $20, well, that's almost $400. That's well over $300 I would lose. Now delta would go down because of the gamma, but the delta measures how much money an option will go up or down in value if the stock goes up and down or value. And so since this delta is 0.579, then that means that if Twitter goes up $1, I make $57.90. If it goes down $1, I lose $57.90. So if Twitter went down $7, then you just multiply the two together and you get like what, $370, $380, something around there. It wouldn't be pretty. Let me get rid of this dumb thing here. Okay, so that means that my long call, let me go back to my Twitter here, which right now the bid is 560, the ask is 600. That means this puppy dog will probably go down to like $250 if I'm lucky, maybe $250, maybe $300 if I'm lucky. So I would lose what, like $300 something, but I would make this money, right? Because this option will go to 0, and this is the one that I'm selling. I'm an option seller. Okay, so if that happened, okay, then this would be my biggest challenge, because what I would have to do to continue to make money on a $30 call is I'd have to sell lower strike prices if I want to sell by the week, which of course that's what I want to do, right? And let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and pull up all the options for 8 days. Now, if I go 20% out of the money right now, if I go all the way up to 35, this $35 call, the bid is worth $25, the ask is worth $45, so I get $35. And that's because premium is sky high right now. I mean, Twitter, look at this, okay? Twitter, the last price is at $27.54, right? Look how much money you get for a $28 call that expires in 8 days. You're getting $220. Okay, now I've never been able to get that much money, but when the earnings comes out, then implied volatility goes up. And let me show you what I mean by implied volatility. Let me pull up Twitter, go in the option chain like this, and now let me go to Greeks, and let me click on the view chain, and this right here is implied volatility. This number measures the implied volatility in a stock option, which is the expected move of that particular option in that particular time frame. Now if I go out further, the implied volatility is a lot less, $55. These are the 2020s, but if I click on the Novembers here in 2 weeks, bam, that's a lot of money. And that's why the options are so much higher. So I can guarantee you, well, I won't say guarantee, but I can give you a 99% probability. Let me get rid of this. I can get rid of I can give you 99% probability that all that, and let me go back to Twitter and re-pull that up and go back to the weekly call. So this $211 will go to down probably to $30-$40 here in the next 2 or 3 days. I can almost guarantee you that, because that is all implied volatility, that sky high implied volatility due to the earnings and the expected move of Twitter. Okay, so if Twitter craters down to $20, then that means these options will go down to $30-$40, and these are almost at the monies. Okay, so let me pull up the all again, and let me go back to looking. So if it wasn't for earnings, then these $35 calls, I can guarantee you wouldn't get hardly anything. You might get $2 for those if you're lucky. Okay, so that's my challenge. If Twitter craters down to $20, and what I have to do is, these are $20 calls, I'd probably have to sell $21 or $22 calls, and that's the time that I would open up my option butterfly. I did a video on what is a option butterfly. It's basically when you have 2 long calls and you have 2 short calls, and 2 of the calls are in the middle, and then 2 of the other calls are on the outside and are on the inside. In my case, the short calls are going to be in the middle, because what I plan to do if Twitter does go to $20 is I will probably buy another $20 call. It's going to cost me around $500 or $600, and then I'll start selling weekly call options at the $21 or $22 strike price. And by doing that, I will continue to take in enough premium to continue to pay for the original $777 that I spent on this $30 call right here. Let me go ahead and re-pull that up. Okay, $777. That's my goal. Okay, whenever you're investing in options, or I should say buying and selling options, your first goal, goal number 1, is to not lose your money in the first place. Don't think about trying to make a lot of money until you can be sure that you're not going to lose your money in the first place. And that's what I'm doing by selling weekly calls. I'm basically all but guaranteeing that I am going to make $777.71 between now and the next 15 months. Okay, and if I'm making, let's say, $40 a week, in 20 weeks I make what, $800, and if there's 4 weeks in a month, that's 5 months, right? And that gives me another 10 months to go. Actually 11 months, because I bought this back on September the 10th, and I've already got it $300 paid off. So you know, that's fabulous return. If I can continue bringing in that kind of return with that kind of a premium, you see this $2,400 right here, that's going to go up to about $6,000 or $7,000 here in the next year, and I'm not going to be adding any money to my account. That's all stock appreciation, just based on this simple little strategy of buying long-term calls and selling weekly calls. Okay, that's the way I like to do it, because to me, you know, there's no comparison to how much money you save in the time and how much money you make selling weekly call after weekly call. Now, finally, the third scenario. Let's say Twitter doesn't hardly move at all. Let's say it goes up $1, goes up to $28, or it goes down to $27. Well, then it's very simple. This call option right here will go to 0, and I'll just sell another call. I'll probably start selling $29 calls and try to make a nice 40 to 50 bucks a week. And so if it stays flat, that's the easiest one. If it goes up, that's the best case scenario. If it goes up, that's when I plan to buy to close and then sell to open another one. So excuse me, forgive me for that cough, but a lot of talking here. So that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.